Alright, so here is the new watch sent over from Zelos, and after testing it out for a couple of weeks, I'm ready to share my thoughts on it. There's nothing in this box, it's right here. And full disclosure, this watch was given to me to keep to make this video. And yeah, let's check out the New Horizons Diver. So I've talked about Zelos a lot on this channel, and not because they put out so many watches, but it's because I believe they are one of the quintessential micro brands. One of the true OGs of the field with a decent fan base that get overly excited when they see the FedEx dude arrive. Of course, in the rare occasion that they don't drop kick your package and send it flying to the other house, which is usually the case. I never felt that any Zelos was lacking in terms of quality because they check off all of the so-called necessities that we look for. Not design, because that is subjective, but the objective stuff like does it come with good materials and is it even comfortable to wear. So anything negative I had to say about Zelos wasn't the need for some major redesigning, rather it was the need to further refine certain aspects of it. I know it's a pretty bold statement, but after handling so many of them with plenty of first-hand experience, I can personally attest to it. It comes from objective analysis opposed to some subjective matters. With that said, this is the New Horizons Diver, which is part of the Horizons line that originally featured a GMT complication. This time, it's a dedicated diver which may appeal to those who aren't a fan of GMTs, but like the general aesthetic of the model. Removing the GMT feature brings the price down significantly from $899 to $449 at the time of release, and $549 currently because it no longer needs the more expensive ETA 2893 GMT movement. Instead, the Horizons Diver houses the Miyota 9015, which beats at 4Hz, and is both hacking and hand winding. So if you prefer the Diver over the GMT, then you're paying a little over half of the original price and probably dancing like our panda friend. For some other specs, the case is 39mm with a 20mm lug width, which makes it great for strap options. The lug-to-lug distance is 44, so it sits rather compact as well. The thickness is 10.5 without the box sapphire crystal, which only adds 2.5 anyways, so the total thickness at 13 allows for easy access under the cuff if you're not working at home in your pajamas like everyone else for some reason. As I've mentioned already, the crystal is sapphire with an undercoat of blue AR, and the bezel insert is also BGW9 Loon Sapphire, which is a common theme of the Horizons line. Of course, since it is a diver, we have 200 meters of water resistance thanks to its screw-down crown and engraved solid case back. It's also worth mentioning that there are many variations of this watch, some of which do have a 12-hour bezel insert, so there is still the option to have a GMT function. Now that the boring stuff is out of the way, let's get on to the dial, because it's all about the dial. Or maybe that just applies to me. The texture of this light blue surface isn't subtle. The fume finish is deep, which results in tons of depth to the space. The C3 lume applied indices also supplement this effect while providing dual-tone lume, which is often found in most Zelos watches. From specs alone, the Horizons Diver pretty much covers all of the requisites that a good tool watch should have, which it is, but I still feel that there is some room for further refinement. Surprisingly, it's nothing to do with the watch head itself, and instead focuses on the bracelet system. So first, the clasp features a ratcheting diver's extension, which is always super nice to have, but it was very difficult to use at first. I could not push the lever down to extend it, but after putting some nano oil and eventually washing it under the sink, rectified the issue. So if you're also having trouble getting that extension to come out, try running it under some warm water because there might be some machining crap underneath it. The other note pertains to the bracelet, which is comfortable and made up of solid links, but it is a screw construction and the screws might not be tight all the way. So if you do pick one up, make sure that you tighten up or check all of these screws because there might be a few that are very loose. So aside from the stuck extension, there's no aspect of this watch that would particularly make me think of it negatively. I do like the size and design of it, but this is subjective, so it might vary from one person to another. If you have an 8-inch wrist, then you probably also have a huge, fat, big watch obviously, and this isn't one. But if you prefer the smaller to mid-sized divers, then I think you really come to appreciate the form factor of this watch. Now I just want to take a second to talk about why this brand comes up a lot in my channel. The appeal of a micro brand was getting tons of value for your money. A smaller, new brand is competing with larger companies with tons of recognition and heritage. To draw customers away from the larger companies and into your smaller, newer, unheard of brand, your watches needed to be objectively better, whether that's improving the materials or adding a feature like a complication. I don't know about everyone else, but for me, the only thing that's gonna stop me from buying the more recognizable watch is the objectively better watch. Unless it's a Rolex, of course, for obvious reasons. So the Horizons Diver is not a well-recognized watch within the scope of this hobby, but it is an objectively better watch than a lot of what's on the market right now, often at a higher cost than this. They're competing in the under 1,000 price point, specifically I guess around the $500 price point, which is much less of a financial burden for a lot of people, opposed to if it was $4,500. But why I like Zelos and a lot of micro brands within this $500 price point or under $1,000 price point is that they let you have fun without a large price of entry. Also, when a sub $500 watch is packed with tons of features, it's that much more easier to reason the purchase with yourself before having to confront the boss. So that's about it. If you want to check out the Horizons Diver, I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Do follow me on Instagram at loom_shot, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm losing my voice. The watches always come in this nice wooden box. I don't know what more to say. See you guys.